One small, unimportant decision that you made that changed the whole trajectory of your life.
So 3 years ago, I decided to go on a solo trip to Italy for no other reason than I felt a pull to go on a solo trip to Italy. I did Venice, Florence, and Rome, but at first I was only planning on staying in Florence for 2 days. So a couple months before my trip, I'm working at my job in New York. And this lady comes in. I'd never seen her before. I never saw her again, but it turns out that she had lived in Florence for a couple of years. We're talking, she's telling me how great Florence is, how much she loved it. And that night I decided to go home and change my trip so I would come to Florence for 3 days instead of 2, and I would come a day earlier than I had originally planned. So my trip comes. It's my first night in Florence. A day earlier than I had originally planned. And I decided to go to a jazz club that a friend recommended. In the jazz club that night, I met Dario. We spent my 3 days in Florence together. We were long distance for a year. He moved to New York for a year, and then in January, we decided to move back to Italy together. I started a new career. I started TikTok. I'm 1000% going to marry this man. And all because I decided to come to Florence for 3 days instead of 2.